Neville Goddard said the feeling is the secret, but what does that actually mean? And how do you apply it to your life? That is what we are going to take a look at today so that you can leave this video and really start co creating, manifesting, bringing things from a space of faith and desire to actual physical 3D representation. Hey guys, I am Stephanie and I am a neurometaphysicist. For the last 19 years, I have run a highly successful business, and about halfway through that process, I went back to school for my master's and my PhD so that I could bring this information to you, talking about the subconscious, how it connects to the conscious, and how those two together come about to bring you exactly the things that you desire. My focus on this channel tends to be finances, but what I teach about money and finances and manifestation and faith, it applies to everything. I just like talking about money. All right, let's get into it. One of the key premises from Neville is that it's not what you want that you attract, but it is what you feel that you attract. And that always throws people because the reality is most people are feeling into the state where they currently are. Most people are feeling into what their current physical 3D circumstances are. And what you have to be able to do is feel into the actual desire, feel into that in which you actually want. What you have to do is to be able to take that desire, that thought, that thing that you want, and put yourself there so that you can draw up those feelings and those emotions. Now, I often talk about the subconscious manifestation and faith because I think science is just catching up with religion, it's just catching up with faith, it's just catching up with God. So I talk about them all together. So if we think about faith, and we think about the ultimate go-to faith verse, it is one of my favorites. It is Hebrew 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All right. That ties directly into this idea or ideology of feeling like the thing is already done. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So at the very core of what you hope for, that is where faith is. And that once you have the evidence of things not seen, so you don't see them yet, but the evidence is in knowing that it is already done, which of course we have all heard of as living in the end. So you have to be able to take that thing that you want and be able to say, to have faith, it's already done. We're not hoping that it's done. We're not believing that it's done. We know that it's done. And I did a video a few years ago about not hoping, even though we often use the word hope. But when it's something that we really desire, we can't hope. We can't even believe in the traditional sense. We have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt. There's a difference in believing when you get home, your lights are on, and knowing that you paid that bill, so those lights are on. It is even one feels like a hope, a wing, a dream, and a prayer. Okay, and one is like, oh, I know I paid that bill. I'm not worried about those lights. Those lights are going to be on. Are you guys following me? So what happens is with feeling as the secret, first you have to live in the end first. The first part is knowing in the end that it is already done. And from that live in the end space, you can feel the emotion from it already being done. You can feel the emotion. And the easiest emotion, and this is like a tip and a giveaway that I think will change your life. This feeling that is already done is very difficult for people very often, quite often, because if they're looking around their physical 3D circumstances, um, and they don't see it, then it's real hard to feel, right? But this is a trick about faith. And this is a trick about this because faith and manifestation is the same thing. This is the trick. The easiest way to get into the feeling, are you ready? Is gratitude, or in biblical terms, is praise. I want you to write that down. The easiest way is gratitude, or in biblical terms, praise. When you give praise and thanksgiving for already having that which you desire, it's easy. You're in that state. It's kind of like this. For those who have been churchgoers, are churchgoers, praise and worship. I love church. I also go to synagogue. Synagogue and traditional Christian church, praise and worship is not the same. We don't even really have the same type of praise and worship in the synagogue. And praise and worship in a traditional church, what I love is in the listening to the music, in the singing the song, it shifts the energy, it shifts the dynamic, it shifts everything in the world, in the room. When you're raising your hand to the Lord and you're saying, thank you for what you are giving me, thank you for what you've brought me, thank you for bringing me through any pain, any stress, anything that was happening outside of those church doors. In that moment, it doesn't exist because you are in gratitude to the Lord. You are literally praising and worshiping. Praise and worship will shift the energy. Praise and worship puts you in the state of gratitude. And in that state of gratitude, you now feel different. When the energy shifts, you feel different. So even though Neville didn't talk about it in these terms, he often used the Bible. He often used scriptures. The reality is, in a state of praise, in a state of worship, in a state of gratitude, your feelings match that praise, that worship, and that gratitude. You cannot be in praise, worship, and gratitude and be in depression because you don't have it. You cannot be in a state of want and be in praise and gratitude and worship at the same time. They cannot coexist. So that is a little secret, a little tip that I have been using for years and giving my clients. When you can't get into the feeling like I just can't convince myself that I have $20,000 in my bank account or that I'm in this new home, go to a place of, I am so grateful. Thank you, Lord. I thank you, Lord. I appreciate it, God. Thank you for bringing this into my life. Like, go into thanksgiving, and just slowly as you move through it, your feelings and your emotions, they will start to change. Many of you will start shedding tears of gratitude because you're so grateful for already having it. And when you do that consistently, what actually happens is, outside of the space of praise and worship, what is actually going to happen for you is, outside of that space, your energy has already shifted. Your subconscious is catching up because your subconscious has been seeing you in a conscious level, praising, worship, giving gratitude, and your subconscious don't know you, do not have it, because that's how powerful the frequency dynamics of praise, worship, and gratitude is. Praise, worship, and gratitude literally shifts the energy in the room, thus shift your energy. So whenever you feel yourself feeling like you're going into an old state, get back into gratitude, praise, worship, and watch how you will constantly stay in the state of it's already done. Not I hope, not I wish, not I believe, but it is. I want to give you a 4-step process in order to actually step into this and co-create or manifest. First of all, I want you to choose, of course, not what you want, but the end result of what you want. So if you want money, what is the reason you want the money for? We tend to not want money for the sake of wanting money. It is normally an outcome at the end, whether it's legacy, a sense of freedom, if it's to buy a home, if it's to be able to invest in multiple things, whatever it is, what is the end result of you wanting the money? So first things first, you want to decide what that end result is. Okay. Then the second step that Neville gives you is to find a scene that implies it's done. Basically, what that end result is that you want, see yourself in that end result. So if it's to buy a new home, I always talk about what's important in the home to you. Is it the bedroom? Is it like a beautiful bathroom? Is it the kitchen? For me, it would be the kitchen. So I would see myself in this dream kitchen, and I would see myself, and not even see myself, I would take myself to this dream kitchen, and I would feel what the countertops would feel like, and I would feel what the floors feel like beneath my feet, and I would feel the scent of the room on closing day. After you close and you go to the home, okay? And from there, and I told you, yeah, it'll be 4 steps. So step 3 is feel the emotions of that scene. And the emotions of that scene, yeah, you're feeling the feet, you're feeling your feet and what's under your feet, the ground, you're feeling the countertops, you're looking around, you're smelling the space. But in that, you can get in gratitude and in praise and worship. Again, it shifts you. And that energy, you want to go to sleep from that space. God, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. So you're seeing yourself there while you're in gratitude, in that vision, in that scene, in that space. You are in gratitude for having it. And so what happens is when you first wake up and as you doze off at nighttime, your subconscious is most open for suggestion. So if you are taking yourself to a place of gratitude, a place of praise, and a place of worship for the gratitude of having that thing, your subconscious being open to suggestion in that time, your subconscious is literally being told, I have it already. And we're grateful for that. And that's all your subconscious is getting. It's not getting any negative feedback from anything else. It's not getting any negative feedback from we might not have it. We're not getting any negative feedback of we want it, because the space of want is a space of not having. And we'll talk about that at a later date. A space of want is a space of not having. A space of having is a space of gratitude. A space of having is a space of praise. A space of having is a space of worship. A space of having is not a space of want or desire. Okay, but you do have to know what you want and what you desire in order to get there. So I suggest in step 3, you of course do this during the day, but when you're getting ready to do your nighttime falling asleep, seeing yourself in the scene, be grateful for what you have in the scene, be sit in a space of gratitude. And this is part again that Neville did not um lay out for you or paint out, but I'm telling you, I've learned through the years this was shifted immediately, and it's why you guys have such a hard time living in the end. It's because ultimately you cannot adopt the feeling, and the feeling is simply attached to gratitude. Okay. I want to give you a couple scriptures for those of you who are biblically based that I think will help you realize the connection between Neville Goddard's work and the Bible. All right. First is Mark 11:24. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have, and it will be yours. Not believe you will have, not believe you might have, but believe that you have and it will be yours. What would you do if you had it already? You would be grateful for having it already. The next one is my favorite that I mentioned a second ago. Hebrew 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Another one is Romans 4:17. God calls, yeah, I got reading glasses and still can't see. God calls into being things that were not. All right. Things that were not. But as soon as you shift in the place that it is, God calls that thing into being. Those are just 3 scriptures that I think will help you ground if you need biblical basis around manifestation, that I believe a lot of people do indeed need. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have not joined us inside of the Still Well Society, it is my free group over on Substack. Right now, we are in the middle of Faith and Finances Challenge. We're on day, I don't even know the date of the month, but we're on day 12 or 13. I think day 13. And if you want your faith to be built and you learn to manifest from this type of space, you want to get in there. I will link it down below in the description, and any questions, comments, etc. you have, please leave them down in the comments. And if you haven't noticed, I'm putting myself on this self-imposed 30 videos in 30 days, so you might see more than one video from me in a day to if I get a little bit behind. But I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys, giving you these 30 videos, and prayerfully 30 videos that shed a light on manifestation and co-creation in a way that you've never, ever, ever seen before or heard before in your life. Till next time.